Oh my gosh, you're here!
Welcome to My Chatbot Life, where chatbot marketers share high converting strategies in this new conversational marketplace. Each week, MKJ introduces you to bot builders who are just like you, a little techie, a little markety, and a whole lot of geeky. Buckle up as Chatbot Mom enjoys another journey into My Chatbot Life.
Hey there, bot buddies. Guess who? MKJ here. And I just had to, oh my goodness, I had to do this impromptu podcast episode. All right. Sorry, I just took my glasses off so I could see what was going on the computer. um, okay, it's impromptu because something's going to happen tomorrow, which is Monday, March 2nd, 2020. And I really want to share some of my thoughts about that right now. Right now, I'm actually in San Diego, California, at Social Media Marketing World. I'm very excited to be here speaking. Um, if you're hanging out, bot buddies, come and see me on Tuesday. I'll be in room 31 ABC, and I'll be talking about how to use bots to sell to your audience without sounding salesy, right? Or being salesy. But I'm going to be revealing lots of fun new things that are going to go way beyond Messenger. So, but anyway, that's on Tuesday. And right now I just got here, checked into my hotel, and I had to take a few minutes and kind of go through what's actually happening as of tomorrow, which is Monday. So if the title of this episode didn't get you, let me kind of take you back in time. I'm not going to go through a whole history and details. I'm going to talk about two very critical things that started this process that led to what's going to happen tomorrow. Okay, so bear with me. So about 3.5 years ago, about 6 months before I actually started with Andrew Warner, and I attended his webinar and then was blown away by bots and went into Bot Academy and all that good stuff that you probably already know. About 6 months before that, I had a digital marketing agency that was specifically catering to the beauty industry. So I had a couple of clients that was not that successful, at least not compared to what I am now. Not that I want to compare, but the success I had was quite sporadic. And one of my clients, it was completely on spec. She only paid me if she made money with the things that I built. So let's say in the year of, I think, 2016, I probably got paid $800. I think I did get paid $800 from that client, and that was for hundreds of hours of work. And we're talking setting up websites, setting up a online course teaching in the beauty industry, setting up all of that, the content, the marketing, the lead generation, all of it. And so I didn't get paid very much. Another one that I had was mostly maybe $500 a month at the most, and not consistently, not every single month. So suffice it to say that during the month of 2016, if I was lucky, I made around $2,000 to $3,000 a month. If I was lucky, sometimes less than that, a couple of times maybe a little bit more, but usually less than that. So I was in this world, and it was because I had followed every squirrel, right? I had gone down every interesting tech because I enjoy tech, not coding it, using it, figuring it out, right? Diving through that messy middle, right? That people usually quit at. When I dive into all the details, that's my personality. I love diving into the details, understanding exactly what's happening, and then implementing it. But then I get pretty, I don't know, bored. And especially if I don't get immediate results, then I go on to the next squirrel. Okay. I'm sure you can relate, right? So along comes an email from Andrew Warner. Again, this is middle of 2016. And he's having a Mixergy meetup in San Francisco. And I live about 2.5 hours northeast of San Francisco. So this meetup, the thing that hooked me to actually drive to San Francisco, to be there at 6 o'clock at night And this meetup wasn't supposed to be done till at least 9 p.m. So think about it. I probably wouldn't get home, and I didn't get home until around midnight, right? Um, so to drive all the way down, all the way to San Francisco, attend this meetup, and then not get home till at least midnight. The thing that drew me into that was that his guests at this meetup were going to be Tim Ferriss and some other guy. Okay. And actually, really, I cannot remember the other guy's name. And I'm sure Andrew's going to shoot me because I've asked him this before. And for some reason, I just can't remember this guy's name. But he is, I don't know, I'll call him like a CEO whisperer, right? So this other guest besides Tim Ferriss, he actually helps uh, detox or debrief or de-stress high level tech CEOs, of which I am not, right? That's not what I am. So that wasn't as interesting at all to me as seeing and meeting Andrew Warner, because I've been on his email list for a long time and love Mixergy, and seeing and meeting Tim Ferriss. And so I went. I think he was charging like $25 or something like that to go down. I had to park and I had to drive and blah, blah, blah. So I went down there, and I'm telling you, I was absolutely blown away because I did not get anywhere near the value that I thought I was going to get. It didn't come anywhere close to what I thought. I thought I was going to meet Tim Ferriss and be just totally, 4-hour work week and all this amazing stuff. And this guy was incredible. And definitely meeting Andrew Warner was top in my list. But I was sitting in the audience, and I remember back then, 3.5 years ago, and I was a different communicator back then. I very much was insecure. I wasn't making the money I wanted to make. I wasn't doing the things I wanted to do. So I felt not just out of my league, but more uh, scattered, not knowing what the heck I'm going to do and how the heck I'm going to make this all work. And so I went to this meetup, and surprisingly, I didn't give a hoot about Tim Ferriss. Once that other guy got on, the CEO whisperer, I'll call him, the mindset guru that started me on this journey, when he started talking, very calming voice, just what he started talking about just immediately hit me. So in that meetup, he talked about how we have things in our past that have made us who we are. Okay, and we look at them maybe as um, things that impacted us negatively and that we feel have hindered us. One of those things for me is I need to be in control. Okay, that used to be. I used to need to be in control. I needed to be in control because when I was younger, I was highly controlled by my father. And if, we're talking, if I didn't have the kitchen cleaned by the time he got home from work, if it was a bad day, the belt would come out and it would not be fun. Let's just put it that way. And so control was a really difficult thing for me. For anything to control me was something I immediately rebelled against. And that was anything. That was good eating habits, right? Good exercise habits. I looked at those as control. So this particular gentleman turned that around for me and turned it around and said, that's actually your superpower. It's not your limitation because it has made you who you are. And that's exactly why I dive into things and want to learn and want to know. It's that control idea that I want to know it. And I don't want anyone to tell me whether I can or cannot know it. I just want to know everything. And so I looked at it totally differently. Instead of a limitation, I looked at it as a superpower. And I started to focus it. Okay, so that's one thing that happened at that particular event. The second thing that happened at that event is Andrew Warner gave out these little buddies. Okay, if you're listening and you're not watching the video, these are meditation beads that Andrew has usually stacked onto his microphone. This is the first time I ever saw them, heard about them, and he gave them out. And he talked about how we should and could use these as mantras, as daily meditations, quick daily meditations, as daily focus beads. And so and it was very simple, wasn't this big old morning routine and all those kinds of things. It was very simple. Each bead represented a time that you say whatever your mantra is. I will make $5,000 this month, right? Um, I will be an expert at WordPress plugins, right? Whatever you're trying to focus on. I will control my anger, right? Or I will work through my anger, right? Whatever you're working on, whatever your daily mantra needs to be, you go and you say that over and over. And each time you touch a bead, you say your mantra. I did it on the plane today. I was sitting on the plane. They were going through the details of if we crashed into the ocean and all those kinds of things. And the whole time they were talking, I was doing my mantras. And so those two things happened at that Mixergy meetup. And those two things specifically flipped a switch for me. So that 6 months later, when Andrew Warner sent an email saying, how would you like 80% open rates and 60% click through rates? I said, okay, let's go. Let's see what's next. And I went to his webinar, and again, the rest is history. So through that time, though, I learned how to build bots, but I learned it from a gentleman I already trusted to teach me beyond just the tactics and the tools of bot building. So that's the only reason, because I had that previous experience, that's the only reason I was able, not the only, but the most important reason that I was able to take that tactical information and just run with it. It's because I had the the pre-work done and ready. I had that pre-work ready with the mantras, with the start of the changes in my mindset. And those were the very beginnings, my friends. Let me tell you, those two little things, my superpower instead of being my limitation, control is my superpower, and the mantra beads. Those were the very, very beginning. And I have experienced so many more mindset shifts and flips of switches and realizations and ahas that weren't necessarily tactical and tool wise. They were completely mindset and removing limitations. So, fast forward now, going through Bot Academy, it was amazing. I already had 2 clients before I signed up. Um, I think it was 9 clients within the first couple of months after finishing, and it's just gone up from there. So the first year, 2017, I think there's where I was pretty much averaging anywhere from 2 to 3 thousand a month, um, sometimes 5, sometimes 8, so that basically I hit mid 5 figures, around 50,000 that year. And then the next year, I more than doubled that. And then the next year, I more than doubled that. And now we're looking at 2020. And in order for those exponential changes to happen, and believe me, please don't compare me to anyone else. I'm comparing me to me, right? That's what is important. I don't care what any other agency owner, bot persona, gurus. It does not matter to me how much other people make. I'm talking about me and how how the mindset shifts I've had to make have allowed me to grow and grow my business, grow my team, grow the effect that I have on my clients and hopefully the world. And so, in order to do those things, I had to, each time I came up against a limiting um, fear, and it truly was a limiting fear. The latest one, and this jumps right from I have to be in control and no one can tell me what to do, and I'm just going to quit if it doesn't work immediately, right? That's a huge one that I had to overcome and say, no, stick with it. I don't care how bored you get. I don't care what other squirrel comes across your path. If you've devoted yourself to this messenger thing, you will stick with it, right? How many people, how many of you possibly even listening, have quit over the last 3 years? Quit messenger marketing, quit bots, and gone on and done some other thing. And now you're coming back. You know who you are because you've talked to me. You've come to me and said, hey, you know what? I'm really thinking about coming back into bots. What do I need to know? Right? Lots of you have done that. And so the people listening to this episode, to this podcast, you've reached out, you've said a couple of things that are important to you. But I know, number one, most of you are in that same place that I was that first year. Whatever you're doing, you're making probably anywhere from, say, 2000 or nothing in the beginning. Maybe you're just starting out and you don't have any clients, or you haven't really made anything, or sold anything through Messenger. You may be an entrepreneur, um, all the way up to maybe you're making $5,000 consistently a month, maybe even 10,000, or that's probably your goal, is 10,000 a month consistently, right? That's the majority. That's where that pivot point happens. Um, and I get it. There are lots of things that affect whether or not we can do that, whether or not that's going to happen. But I'm here to tell you, because of those changes I made in my mindset, because I followed my instincts about where bots were going, where conversational design and conversational marketing is headed. And I said yes to some opportunities that have been presented to me and just dove in with amazing excitement. It's still Messenger. It's not necessarily Messenger. It's still conversational design. It's still conversational marketing. But my friends, we are going to, and are actually, but in a larger scale, going to be able to control our own data, um, control the conversation, not worry about being told when, how, or where to communicate with our audience, except by following the law from the FCC or GDPR or something like that. The cuffs are off, right? The shackles that we've had. And so many of you have also messaged me saying, "Hey, I heard you got a bot back online after it got banned. Can you give me some tips?" So I know lots of people are experiencing Facebook ads shutdowns and messenger bot shutdowns and restrictions on your pages and restrictions on your bots. I get it. Believe me, I get it. And we have other options. I will go into those. If you're at Social Media Marketing World, I will go into those on Tuesday. I'll talk about them. But this episode is talking about, because I was open to all of those opportunities. When I messaged Andrew, beginning of February, I think it was February, probably 2nd or 3rd. And I said, "Hey," I messaged him before that, but I told him, "Hey, February 2nd or 3rd, I'm going to be in San Francisco, and I'd love to, get together, have a cup of coffee, and catch up." There are two people that I message when I'm in San Francisco. One of them is Nick Julia, sweetheart. I mean, he's just one of my dearest bot buddy friends. And the other is Andrew Warner. They're the two that I know. I haven't really built a relationship with anyone else. And I've only done that with Andrew and Nick probably maybe 3 or 4 times over the last 3 years. Um, I don't go to San Francisco very often, and most of the time I meet these people at conferences, and we get to catch up there. But if I'm coming into the city, I'll say, "Hey, I'm coming. Can we get together?" And every single time that Andrew says sure and says, "Let's have coffee," I am um, honored and a little starstruck that I'm actually going to sit down and have a one-on-one private conversation with Andrew Warner. And that morning, it was a Monday morning, I met Nick first because I flew in from another conference in Nashville early in the morning, and Nick and I went and had breakfast, and then went for a beautiful hike overlooking, I mean, just panoramic 360-degree views of San Francisco and the Golden Gate, and Marin and East Bay and South Bay. It was just incredible. Absolutely gorgeous sunny day, little wind. It was just incredible California day, not a typical San Francisco foggy cold, right? It was gorgeous. And that was amazing. And then that afternoon, I met Andrew for coffee. And typical Andrew, amazing fashion, he rapid fire questions, right? He's an interviewer at heart. He's an amazing interviewer. To be on Mixergy will be, I mean, that would be, I can't even imagine that. That thought just hit me, and I can't even imagine that any those people who have to handle Andrew's questions. He's amazing at it. But he asked me all kinds of questions. What are you doing? How are your bots doing? What are you doing on Messenger? How are you feeling about the changes that are coming March 4th? Do you think they're going to happen? How's ManyChat going? What are you doing with your course? Are you doing your course? Because I have a chatbot conversion catalyst. It's more for copywriting and conversions in bots, not just how to build a bot. And so I'm just like meeting him toe to toe, right? We were talking about, I was getting excited about all the changes. I told him about this new platform that I'm working with to go beyond Messenger. And out of the blue, as we're talking, he says to me, "Would you consider taking over Bot Academy?" And I think the corners of my mouth just kind of smiled a little bit. And I looked at him and said, "That would be absolutely incredible." Because 2 days earlier, someone else asked me that same question. Dear friend of mine, Kathy Booker, who's also a Bot Academy student. We were rooming together at that conference in Nashville, and she's packing up her suitcase, and I'm doing some work because I'm staying into Nashville for another day. And we're talking about the exact same subject. She's asking me, "How are you doing with your agency? How are bots doing? What do you think of the changes? How's ManyChat doing? Um, uh, what are you doing with your course? How's it going?" And out of the blue, she said those exact same words 2 days earlier. "Would you ever consider taking over Bot Academy?" And at that time, I was flabbergasted. It was like another switch. And I went, "Oh my gosh, that would be absolutely incredible. Can you imagine the students taking over the school?" And I didn't let myself live in that thought for very long. I just went, wow, what an incredible thing that would be. I'm going to meet with Andrew Warner and have coffee in a couple of days because we'd already arranged that. I'm like, wouldn't that be incredible? I don't know what he's planning. I don't know what's happening, but oh my goodness, that would be amazing. And I just packed it away in the back of my head. I haven't even told Andrew this yet. Um, and go to San Francisco, and out of the blue, I didn't have a plan. I wasn't going to say anything about it. I wasn't going to say, "Would you consider selling me Bot Academy?" Nothing like that. It just out of the blue, he said the exact same words. And I'm telling you, Bot Buddies, it is not the tactics that I learned along my journey over the last 3 years that caused that event to happen. It's not the tools that I use and the individual ways that I build a bot and using a custom field versus a bot field or using a tag or going into Integromat or Zapier. Those things are important when you're in the work and in the weeds. But the things that have brought me opportunities are not those things. They are because I have to perform for my clients. You get me, right? But that's just to perform for a client. And if that were all I worked on, then I would still be doing bots, building bots for people and for businesses at $1,000 or $2,000 a piece. I don't build bots. I am a conversational designer. I am a conversational marketer. That is very different than bot building. And so if I still identified myself as a bot builder, I would still be there, as I have a feeling many of you are. But I have flipped that switch with the help of so many other people, starting with Andrew Warner and moving on to so many people. Pat Flynn has helped me with mindset. Geeta Ned Carney is the latest one to help me with mindset. So many people. Jamie Masters. Oh my flippin' God, right? So many people that I have either talked to or consumed their content or purchased their masterminds or Knowledge Business Blueprint with Tony Robbins and Dee Graziosi is the latest one to just catapult me. So I've gone from being a bot builder charging $2,000 to build a bot to being a conversational designer and marketer charging upwards of $30,000 a month. That doesn't happen because I know the tools and tips and tactics. And so all of the things that have been happening, I am absolutely shocked, absolutely humbled, and so flippin' excited to invite you along on this journey, because what Andrew wants me to do and has tasked me to do by purchasing Bot Academy from him is, number one, take care of the current Bot Academy students. So if you are a current student or graduate or anything, you've purchased Bot Academy in the past, you have access for free to what we're doing next. Okay, and I'll talk about what we're going to do next in a minute. If you have thought about Bot Academy or you are interested in what this new thing is and you're ready to go beyond tactics and tools, we'll teach you those too. Yeah, definitely. We still have to be able to perform the service. But if you're willing and ready to go to the next level beyond those tactics and tools and become something other than a bot builder, then you are welcome to as well. Andrew and I are going to do a live training talking about exactly how this is going to look and the 2 criteria that he has asked of me. Number 1 is make sure we take care of the Bot Academy students and prospects, people on his list and in his community and who know the Bot Academy brand. And number 2, help the students and anyone else who's interested in Bot Academy go beyond just the DIY course of putting up videos that change so fast. Go beyond the DIY course and hold people's hand to make sure they implement what they need. And keep them aware of the future and what's coming with chatbots, but specifically conversational marketing and conversational design and conversational commerce, all the conversational stuff, right? Keep them up to date, help guide Bot Academy into what's coming. So that is how MKJ has come to buy Bot Academy from Andrew Warner. And if you have followed either of us, I so hope you attend this live training so that I can unpack what it is we're actually doing with this amazing new Bot Academy. So, Bot Academy students will send you an email. If you're on Andrew's list or my list, we'll also send you an email. If you're not on either of our lists, you can email me or go to the site or go to my bot or go to the Bot Academy bot and just say, hey, I want to find out what's going on. And we will give you the details. It's going to be March 10th. I don't have the exact time yet. But for people who are already in our world, like you who are listening to my voice, March 10th is the day you need to mark on your calendar. And we will let you know what time we will be there. And I would love to see you. I would love to hear you. I would love to say hello. And if you're here at Social Media Marketing World, you better darn well come up and say howdy. Come up and give me a hug and say hi. All right? Thank you for listening. Thank you for supporting me. Let me know what you think of this new development. Please share your ideas and thoughts. I love to hear from you. And I got to tell you another thing that some of the other Bot Academy students will be part of this. It's not just me. And I know a lot of you have already messaged as well that you loved the episodes that I did with Alexis, who works for Messenger Funnels. And she is, I'm telling you, one of the best conversational marketers, conversational designers I have ever met, trained, had the pleasure of working with. I don't care what you say. She is one of the best, and if not the. And she will definitely be involved in this new Bot Academy direction. She's very excited. I'm very excited, as are some of the Bot Academy grads that you probably know well and love as much as I do. So stay tuned. The students are taking over the school. And if you want to come and be a part of it, don't hesitate, because this is going to happen pretty darn fast. All right. Thank you so much for listening. In the meantime, oh my gosh, enjoy the journey.
Thanks for listening to the My Chatbot Life podcast. To watch this video chat, visit mychatbotlife.com and get all the rocket boosters you need for your own chatbot success.